Cheki, on my online podcast, I had a conversation with a guy called Haron Mbaabu. Haron Mbaabu is a data engineer and he has worked for various different companies, including Oppo Quick, MSF Africa, Ubunifu, Safaricom, Coco Networks, Ngeni, and now he's a data engineer at NCBA Bank. He has also consulted with various different companies. We came to know each other through a mutual company. This company had hired us to teach data science to a couple of internationals who were sent to Kenya by their government to learn data science. From this experience, I noticed his humble demeanor and his attention to details. On this online podcast, he answers a variety of questions from how he discovered the data field, to what tools he uses in his craft, to how he thinks a person should structure his CV and how he structures his, to salary expectations. He really drops important information, and just make sure to watch this to the end. So without any further ado, enjoy.
Haron, how did you discover data science?
Okay, it's a long story how I first came across data science, but I will just try to be brief as I came. So getting started, I was a student. I was doing mathematics and computer science as my undergrad course. And before even going to data science, I was a software engineer. I was writing more front-end and back-end software. And then in school, doing mathematics, you have to do a lot of concepts in like statistics, probability, calculus. So by chance, I started Googling and trying to research where I can apply this, especially in tech. And then I came across the data science as a field. Then that's where everything started. I became so enthusiastic. I started shifting more from software to data. Then later I shifted to data engineering. But the fact of we are talking about data science, so this is how I was able to migrate. I started moving because I was using Python and SQL. It was easy for me to adapt. So my learning curve was short, especially when I was coming from a software engineering field, doing mathematics and computer science and Canva. So it was more of researching and Googling, and by accident coming across data science.
Oh, that is amazing. Coming straight from software development or the software space, I think that really helped because the various coding concepts ulikokusha already installed within yourself, and now using the mathematical concepts that you learned in school and combining them and just learning how to solve now problems using data. I think for you, as you have said, the learning curve was not as steep because also I myself I did applied statistics with computing, and because of the fact of learning the statistical concepts and the concepts of IT became a little bit easier for me. But I wasn't that good at coding when I started, but I learned later on. That is amazing. So when we met, Aaron, we met through a company, and we were both doing like freelance data jobs, and that's how we came to know each other, etc. So I wanted to know, which area of data science do you specialize in, and are you employed or a freelancer right now?
Talking about right now, I am very employed, so I can say I'm an employee somewhere. But previously, especially last year, I was a consultant. The year before that was 2021, I was fully employed. Even 2022, I was fully employed. In 2021 also, I was fully employed. So I've been migrating also during between being employed and freelancing. So yeah, mine is complicated. But currently, right now, I'm a full-time employee.
Oh, perfect. So since you have tasted both sides, what are the advantages and disadvantages of being an employed person and a freelance person? Which are the advantages of being employed and being a freelance person, and also the disadvantages? Let's start with being employed.
Okay, one of the advantages of being employed is like there is that security, especially if like the person you're working for is like a trustworthy person, or the company is established company, they have to pay at the end of the day. So there is that security that gives you the comfort, or even the comfort that even if I push myself as much as I can to do the perfect work, I'll be paid. That one is the advantage. The other advantage is having the chance to grow and do the same thing for a long time, which helps you to grow and scale up. So those are the main advantages that I see in employment. Talking about the disadvantages, sometimes when you're freelancing, when you're working for one company, the chances of working with different tools is very hard. So by some time you may only know one skill, and upskilling can be hard to do if you are employed, especially if your company or where you're working is very busy. Upskilling can be a problem. So upskilling can be not getting a chance to upskill can be one of the disadvantages, especially in employment.
Perfect.
Going to freelancing.
Mm-hmm.
Going to freelancing now, there is where it differs a lot. Freelancing, if you meet someone who isn't straight with you, certain disadvantages, you push yourself and they won't pay. So even when you're working, you have that fear of, I might dedicate all my time here, and at the end, these guys might not pay. No matter how good you do the work, or no matter how much you push yourself, you meet at the end that you sacrificed and you didn't. Another thing is stagnation, especially in freelancing, because you meet you're doing different things for different projects. Where you meet now, you can't grow vertically, you're just there horizontally, moving here, using this tool, using the other tool. Sometimes you meet even in 1 year, you just one tool for just one project, and you've done 7 projects. So that's one of the disadvantage. That's another disadvantage. The other one, I think I can talk about the advantage. Freelancing comes with a lot of freedom. You manage your time and you agree with the person you're working for on the terms that you're working on. So it becomes very easy for you to learn and upskill. Also, it becomes very easy for you to manage your time and work when best for you. There are people who are very active in the morning. There are other people who are very active midnight. So if you're very active in the midnight and you're freelancing, then you get the chance to work when you work and you're more productive, better. So yeah, I think I've exhaustively discussed, but if you feel like there is one more or two remaining, you can also mention.
Yeah, that is very true. The horizontal growth, you find yourself, you're really you're touching BI, you're touching Tableau, you're touching deep Python, working on creating maybe web applications that have some data analytics concepts, some visualization concepts. You sometimes find yourself in the ML ops, you're finding yourself in very different AWS, you're working on maybe pipelines, and it's just crazy. You're growing horizontally. You get to know so many things, but never be a very, very good master at any of them. That is one of them, as you have said. Another one that for freelancing, one of the disadvantages of freelancing is also you're also very responsible of your workstation. This is something that we discussed with a guy called Evans who works at Upwork. Uses Upwork for freelance jobs. Is very good at it. Found that getting the working desk, you're paying for your Wi-Fi, the laptop, etc., etc. All this, and there's lack of collaboration with other people in the company, or collaborating with people that you don't know, or in very different projects, etc. That is a very big disadvantage. An advantage that that there is in freelancing, it's very scalable. You might find yourself working and getting a chance of getting scaling up and getting more jobs and getting more money. You can maybe get somebody who can do a couple of simple things, then you give them that role and they work on that, and then you are now working on several jobs using different people. But now that comes with people management, which is something else, something very problematic. The employment part is, as you have said, you have really broken it down very well, talking about the vertical growth and the ability to really specialize in a specific thing and become very, very good at it. And this creates more opportunity of getting more people who might be wanting to work with somebody with that specific set of skills. And I think you've really done justice to the question that I've asked. Let's move on to the next one, which is you've worked in the data space for some time now. Which is the most interesting data job that you have done in the past, and why was it? Why do you think it's the most interesting one to you?
Okay, I've done several interesting projects. I won't discuss it in details, but I'll just discuss whatever I like today.
Yeah.
Okay. My most interesting part is building ETLs, but for real-time data streaming, where you meet your building staff, you're building product, you're letting the producers and consumers, which makes sure that the data is not in real time, only in real time. This gives you a certain satisfaction because you can see you can achieve a lot of things, like you are able to analyze data as it comes to the storage. So I think that is the part of the whole data project that I enjoy most. But other project is like having or being capable of moving data from one storage to another in the format that it's required. And also another thing that I did recently and I enjoyed is doing the transformation, still in where data is still in the data warehouse. So instead of performing the traditional ETL, you're extracting and loading using tools like Kilobyte, then you do the transformation and the data is still in the warehouse. Using tools like DBT, it's something that gave me a certain satisfaction because I even analyzed across the data. I could see that we are cutting cost and expenditure. So that's something that interested me. That's something that excited me. But the most interesting part in like my data of experience is being able to stream data in real time or at least near real time.
Oh, that's amazing. I'll go a little bit into detail into whatever you've just said, and not very fine detail, but general detail about you as a data engineer. As I've heard right now, you're talking so much about moving data, transforming it, making sure it's in the right format, so that once it gets to being analyzed or being some models being created on it or anything being happening on it, it's data that is very organized, because we need structured data to work on it, because garbage in, garbage out. I want to know, you as a data engineer, which are the tools and softwares do you usually use to work on whatever you're doing? Which are the most common ones?
The most common one that no one will ever tell you is SQL. So everyone knows that SQL is one of the backbone, especially in the field of data engineering. But other tools, talking with software, they will refer to Python in my book, and also Scala. I'm not very good at Scala, but I can make good code with Scala. So yeah, those are the three languages. Talking about like tools, other tools include the normal Python packages, including pandas, NumPy. But I'll talk about the more specific ones in the field of data, which includes Airflow. Something else that I use is Spark, especially Pure Spark. Also Kafka for streaming data, and Flink for also streaming data. I've also worked with tools like DBT. I've worked with storage tools like Snowflake. I've worked with cloud services like AWS, Microsoft Azure for storage at Google GCP. Which part am I leaving out? Oh, Linux. So OS, I think it's one of the best, especially if you are working in field of data. And also there are different cloud services or tools that are there online that can help you, especially if you get a runtime that is on cloud that can help you learn really huge models. And again, having like a chance to use tools like Google Collabs, one will tell you about it, but sometimes it is important. So basically, well, much of the tools that I can mention of it, I'm leaving so much.
Yeah. Plus the fact that you've worked both in the freelance and the employment space, you find yourself using so many different tools and getting to know so many different things. But the ones that you have mentioned, I think, are the ones that you use mostly in the data engineering space that I have actually noticed you're good at, or is what you've actually specialized in. That is amazing. That is amazing, Haron. I know it's night and I don't want to waste so much of your time. And another question, I might cut this off from the final clip, no problem. But which companies have you worked for? If you're not comfortable answering, no problem, we can just skip to the next question.
Okay, I've worked with several companies. I've worked with, let me start with the introduction. I started with a company in Joker. It was called Quick. Then I also worked with the Bunifu as a trainer. I then moved to MFS Africa, where I worked as a developer relation engineer. I moved to Safaricom as an analytical engineer. I also worked with Coco Networks as a data engineer. I worked at NE as an AI engineer and currently at NCBA Bank as a data engineer. So basically that's the field. I've consulted different firms, which I'm not going to mention.
Perfect. That is amazing. Yeah.
I think you know some of them. We have worked with them before. So, yeah.
Thank you. That's amazing. That is amazing. Getting to just have a conversation with you on these things. I'll also ask you about something like compensation. Would you lightly talk about the space in your own knowledge, how you know about the compensation, the rates at which people are paid for, let's say, juniors in the data science field, the data engineering space, or the data analytics space, all these different spaces, because they all have different compensations. And what for the junior and the seniors, just give me a ballpark figures so that people can understand what are the rates of compensations, but straight from your knowledge, nothing very specific, what you have witnessed or what you have seen from where you've worked and people you've worked with. Just give me a ballpark figure so that people can also understand the financial benefits or the financial gains that come with learning tech skills like data science, data engineering, data analytics.
Okay, the financial discussion about any field is very broad.
Yeah.
And varies from what you are, the skills that you possess, and what return you are returning to the company. But maybe to be more specific or be very brief, I've seen people earning as less as 45,000 Kenyan shillings, and people earning so much up to this is based on people that I've talked with, not specifically in the whole tech field, but just in data. I've seen guys making so much money, over 1 million and plus in the same field, and I've seen people making 45. So your starting point doesn't matter. Just give yourself that first position, no matter how small it would be, but know there is high returns if you push yourself. So that's basically what I would say. Again, their company is paying very much. If you look at Netflix, when they post their job, they put the money there. And if you do the conversion and try to return those rates in Kenyan shillings, you meet like guys are making up to 3 M per month. So it doesn't matter what you're getting for start. That is always what I tell people. Matters is where you are getting your leg to your first position and working so hard to prove yourself. Then about money, that will come automatically. As I said or told someone, chase the value. especially the value of upskilling yourself, like trying to understand things, know things. How can this be done? If I was given this opportunity to do this, could I do it? So that is the value that I'm talking about. Then money and everything else will come. Doesn't matter how long it will take. Yeah.
That is amazing insight. So basically, your message to anyone that is going to listen to this is push yourself. First of all, make sure that you put yourself in a position to learn the skills that are required. Then try your best to get your foot into the door, your foot into the door, and push yourself from that point forward to try and master your skills, get better at it. And with this, you can actually increase your compensation by actually providing more solutions to the organizations that you're working with.
Yeah, sure. And then when you're learning something or when you're upskilling, as I always say, like, you should disappear and work on yourself for little time. It will save you and push you years forward. So always dedicate your time and put yourself first.
Perfect. I actually had talked about something I had heard from a lady called Leila Homozi. She's talked about we are living off the decisions of the productive failures that we made years back. So by studying and failing here and there and understanding different concepts during project-based learning, eventually that information that you're going to learn at that time is what you'll be living off years to come. So like, for example, the things that you put your head down and disappeared for some time, learned, those decisions of the productive failures that you made back then is what you are living off right now. And I think that is a very good summary of what you just talked about.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So something else, what what should a person work on in their CV to increase their chances of getting job in the data space?
Okay, now, working on CV, the topic is broad.
Yeah.
But I will talk about what works for me. So the first thing is, like, know how to structure CV, keywords to put and words to have there. For example, for me, I prefer this when someone talks about their skills after the summary, then the experience later, and then the campus can come at the bottom, whatever you did in school. And when you're talking about campus, sometimes you can like discuss with the information about campus, especially like reviews. When was you there? If you have your certificates, it saves you a lot, especially if there was discrimination on basis of time. So that one thing. On the project that you should put there, try to build real life projects. I'm not saying the Chinese project is not okay. It's okay just for practice, but not for CVs. I'm not saying the Titanic project is not good, but they are not good for CV. Try to create projects. There are very many projects that you can create. You can scrub your own data about health in your country. You can scrub your own data about health. You can try to take or download many photos about crop diseases and use projects like Teachable Machine to label your data. Then use that data to build project. Like, try to be real. Try to create something that can see like it's solving real world or real time problem. Then from there you'll be okay. But the Iris, the Titanic, I'm not saying they're not project, but it's a project is a better code.
Yeah. The house price prediction models, the ones that are used to teach actually.
Yeah, they have been done like 70 times, and I end up online. I can go online and get the code, so you don't have to you're the one who wrote the code, or you have not done anything different from what someone else showed 3 years ago. So honestly, like, try to do something that is modern and real. Like right now, try to do something funny. Like if you're into data engineering, you know, people have been doing it here. Why don't you try EL and transform data? Like, do something that is unique, research what advantages it comes with, discuss the alternative tools for what they told you they are using. also try to do a demo project to show them it is achievable, and you're good. And sometimes even you can write code emails and ask people to give you like dummy data for their company so that you can prove like you can deliver. It pushes you, like those people have you in mind whenever they want to hire for that position.
Perfect. That is so perfect what you've just said, because this is something I'd actually talked about. Projects that you should use to learn, but don't put them on your portfolio. The Titanic projects, the house price prediction problems, the iris, the what is this other one that tries to predict? I don't remember it specifically. These things that you can actually find on Kaggle with so many people just trying to solve them. There are so many things that you can collect your own data, your M-Pesa data, and show that you can create, if you're in the data analytics space, that you can actually use these different visualization tools and visualize your own data. At least that can be a little bit unique. Always remembering to label what transactions you're making, that can be a little bit unique, at least showing that you can think outside the box and provide solutions. And the examples that you've provided, that is very amazing. I know you're straight from work right now. I won't waste any more of your time. Thank you very much, Aaron, for giving us this session and sharing the gems and knowledge that you have in this field. And hopefully we can collaborate on some of the projects that we have. And this was a very amazing session, Aaron.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Thank you for hosting me, Nganga. It was a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you.
Awesome. Sawa. Just killed the